What's going on? This is your man John Fortune, your host of the Frustrated Fan Sports Show. And today's show is about the possibility, even the opportunity for Dwayne Haskins to start. Now, I will start this by saying this. I'm one of those people that say, if he's good enough to sit up there and start for the Redskins, if he's better than Case and he's better than Colt, my thing is let him play. Now, I looked at some of the film from rookie minicamp, and I really like what I'm seeing with his chemistry with Kelvin Harmon and Terry McLaurin. I really like what I'm seeing there. Again, I understand that it's only rookie minicamp, but the fact that they're looking that good as a trio this early on is, to me, very amazing. Now, again, I understand that McLaurin needs a little bit of work when it comes to, being a better route runner and, getting free from defenders and things like that. But Kelvin Harmon, man, I mean, this guy, he's a steal. He's a steal. Now, again, like I said before, I'm excited about all the rookies that we got. They had one guy that I'm not sure if he was just a camp invite. I think he was just a camp invite, but I hope they really do sign him if they didn't already sign him. And I think his name is Dwyane Harris. He looked pretty good in some of those in some of that film and in those practices and stuff like that. So I'm not sure if he made a big enough impact to make them sign him, but to me he seemed like he looks really good as well. But back to Dwayne Haskins. Now, I've heard with some of the comments, it's been like, we shouldn't start him because of the fact that Jay Gruden is a 1-year head coach, and, let us keep building up the line, and, let's protect him for a year. Then you get some people like, trot him out there, just let him go through his bumps and bruises. He'll be good the next year. I said this, and I've been saying this all week. If he's way better, like he don't have to be way better. If he's even slightly better than Colt and Case, my thing is this: start him immediately. Because if he's slightly better than Colt and he's slightly better than Colt and Case, then to me, there's no reason for him not to start. There's nothing that should hold him back if he's better than the two guys who got more NFL experience than he does. Now, I will say this. When you think about Colt has been in the league for a very long time. He's never truly had success no matter what team he's been on. Should have been the Browns, should have been the Bengals, even now with us in the Redskins. He's never had real solid success since he's been in the NFL. And just because he knows the offense, that doesn't mean anything. I mean, Colt may know the offense, but he's no Todd Collins. When Todd Collins came from Kansas City with Al Saunders, Todd Collins stepped in and knew the offense, actually won us a playoff game and everything. Colt doesn't give us that same thing. Now, when it comes to Case Keenum, again, you talking about a guy who lucked up, got on the team in Minnesota, was fantastic on that team because all the players around him was just that good. When he went to Denver, you found out just how awful he was. And not only that, he's been in the league for a while. Like, the fact that we're even thinking about walking into the season, it just comes off as like the Rex Grossman, John Beck situation again. But like I said, even if Dwayne Haskins is slightly better than both of them, my thing is start him. Don't sit up there and sit him on the bench just because of the fact that you feel he needs a little bit more development. If he's slightly better than Colt and Case, then guess what? I'd rather take my chances with him being slightly better. And hell, even if it's one game better than Colton Case, he might end up being 2 games better than Colton Case. So you might as well just go ahead and trot him out there. Now, if he's not slightly better than them, and there's a situation where you say that, okay, he definitely is improving. He still need work. He still need work with his feet, planting his feet and making sure his feet in the right place. And he needs to work on getting accurate outside the pocket. And Colt and Case are better at that than him. Okay, I understand sitting them down. But I also want to make it a point of saying this has to be the coach's decision. And the reason why I say that is because as Redskins fans, we've run into this before. We've run into head coaches being forced to coach a quarterback they don't want. And when a head coach is forced to coach a quarterback they don't want, then all of a sudden you get a situation where you get a Marty Schottenheimer, Jeff George situation. You get a Mike Shanahan, Donovan McNabb situation. You get a Mike Shanahan, Robert Griffin III situation. You get a Jay Gruden, Robert Griffin III situation. Because you can't force a coach to want to play a guy he doesn't have real confidence in, or he feels that this guy's just not ready. And Fan Snyder has to get out the way of this, because Fan Snyder has not had the best report card or the best experience when it's come to his decisions and quarterback situations. And we can go as far back as when he first bought the team. When he first bought the team, he sat up there. Charlie Casserly has talked about this for a while, and so has Trent Green. They had a deal on the table for Trent Green to sign, for him to come back to play for Washington after he had a year in which he threw for almost 3,400 yards or something like that. I know he had a lot of yardage for us his last year in Washington. Now, again, there was an opportunity for this guy to be our starting quarterback. Fan Snyder did not approve Charlie Casserly signing Trent Green. So we lost out on that. So then Charlie Casserly had the wherewithal to sit up there and go back and then make a deal with Minnesota. Because if I can remember, they had to trade their first round pick and their third round pick to Minnesota for Brad Johnson. The reason I remember that deal was because I remember the players that was taken in that draft. It was Dante Culpepper went with our pick. It was Dante Culpepper, and the third rounder was the linebacker from Pittsburgh, Joey Porter. Was Joey Porter. Well, it was Joey Porter. Minnesota drafted Joey Porter and then traded him to Pittsburgh for, I think, an offensive lineman or a tight end. But I remember that. So we had a really good situation with Brad Johnson. Then all of a sudden, what did he do? He come in, Fan Snyder comes in and brings in Jeff George because he didn't like the dunk and dink passing that actually got us into the second round of playoffs and almost got us close to the Super Bowl, but again, he came in and he got himself involved. Then guess what happened? The following year, what ends up happening? Brad Johnson is doing pretty well. I'm trying to think. I think it was the Giants game. Brad Johnson had a bad game in the Giants game. Cause I think it was if I can remember, I think it was a low scoring game. The following game, Fan Snyder forced Marty Schottenheimer to bench Brad Johnson for Jeff George. And I remember that game because it was the Pittsburgh game. And I remember that was the game that that was the game that Jeff George and Marty Schottenheimer was arguing on the sideline about Jeff George changing the plays. Marty Schottenheimer had to bench Jeff George in that game. He brought Brad Johnson in, and Brad Johnson had to play out the rest of the game. But I remember that game because it was a blowout. The following game, I think it was Arizona. It was Arizona. The reason why I remember it was Arizona because Larry Sanders caught the last touchdown pass. He caught the last touchdown pass because it was all a talk about how he really wanted to beat the Arizona Cardinals. Yes, that's what it was. Right after that game, I think it was either that following Wednesday or Thursday, the Redskins, Fan Snyder told Vinny Serrato to release Brad Johnson. And then we had to go the rest of the season with Jeff George, and I can't remember the quarterback who also had to play. But that's what we had, y'all. That's what we had. And Fan Snyder has gotten in the way of quarterback decisions like that before. Like I said, Donovan McNabb, all that stuff. But what I'm ultimately saying is this. To me, if Dwayne Haskins, again, is slightly better than Colt, I don't care. And like I said, and when I say slightly better, I mean, hell, if Dwayne Haskins throws a 50-yard pass and Case throws a 45-yard pass and Colt throws a 45-yard pass, to me, start Dwayne Haskins. That's 5 more yards added on to what we could have had. To me, again, if Dwayne Haskins is even slightly better than Case and Colt, start him. If he's not, then okay, I understand sitting him on the bench, giving him a year, and hopefully he has a breakout season like Mahomes. But again, I want it to be a coach's decision. I do not want Fan Snyder in the way of this decision. I don't want Fan Snyder having any access to this guy. I don't want him encouraging this guy to come to him. I don't want Fan Snyder involved at all. Because why? Fan Snyder's involvement ruined Robert Griffin III for us. I mean, after that rookie campaign, there's no way. Every last one of us thought that we had our quarterback for the rest of, for the next 10, 15 years. We just knew we had the end of end when it came to quarterback. Robert Griffin was going to end our quarterback just dilemma and drought and all that. Fan Snyder got involved. Robert started doing what he did. Next thing you know, Fan Snyder felt that Mike Shanahan wasn't the guy. Then he was gone. This has to be Jay Gruden's decision. Again, understand this. I'm not one of these people that like Jay Gruden. I honestly feel that this is something I told somebody else. I think when Jay Gruden has been in the league for a while, but Jay Gruden was a head coach in the Arena League, and he was a quarterback, all-time quarterback in the Arena League. And to me, I feel that when he draws up plays as though he's working with a 50-yard field. And I think that what happens is that when he gets to that first 50 yards, then he draws up plays for the next 50 yards. And I don't think that he really draws up plays to really go beyond that. But that's just a theory I have. But to me, again, let Jay Gruden make this decision. If Dwayne Haskins is slightly better than Colt in Case, let him start. Let him, because the chemistry that, like I said, the chemistry that I saw with McLaurin and Harmon, it looks amazing. And to me, again, if you see that he can start, you might as well put the two people he got the most chemistry with out there with him. And to me, I'm going to be honest with you. I wouldn't be upset if Harmon and McLaurin are starting wide receivers game one, start of the season, game one. I can't wait to see them in the preseason. I'm pumped. I'm excited. I love what we did I still love what we did with this draft. But like I said again, if Dwayne Haskins is slightly better than Colt and Case, I'm all in. Let's go with Dwayne Haskins. This has been your man, John Fortune, and this has been the Frustrated Fan Sports Show.